Here's the scene on the House floor right now where the president is expected to speak just minutes from now. He'll lay out his priorities, both foreign and domestic.
President's vision for the future when he takes the podium.
Chad, how long until he creepily compliments someone's wife? First 30 seconds. Immediately. I was with J.D. Vance's wife, Yusha. She's Indian, but I like her.
So, Kristen, let's start with you. We're watching.
2 minutes in. I have noticed that too. That's his favorite thing to do. Lovely lady. I would have chosen a white lady, but it's okay. JD got a good one. Someone in the chat said, is this going to be tighter or is he going to ramble on? My man, if you think he's not going to ramble on, you have not been paying attention. Donald Trump has never been tight. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to pull up Asmongold's chat too to see what they're saying as well. Trust. That makes it more fun. It's like live reacting alongside Asmongold. Oh, hold on. Let me put the MAGA hat on too. I want people to remember I am apolitical, okay? And the hat, of course, helps you recognize that this is the simple populist position and also the centrist position. As a centrist, I would like to wear my centrist shield. No politics here, obviously.
Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance.
Was that Ben Shapiro? Ew.
The First Lady, members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Certainly back, baby.
Six weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years, 8 years, and we are just getting started.
I'm dropping all planes going forward. No plane shall fly. It's an affront to God. It's disrespectful. Yeah, Trump brought big titties back into video games. That's why they're excited.
That America's momentum is back. Our spirit is back. Our pride is back. Our confidence is back. And the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
I think it's kind of it's a bit gross to glaze this hard. I mean, come on.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Whoa, what's going on?
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
The most ever. Okay, I like that. I like the Democrats getting in their feelings a little bit. I like it.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point
Oh, J.D. Vance, get him out of here. Yeah, my goat.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of
That is Al
decorum,
Green,
and the chair is prepared
Democratic
to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms
Congressperson.
to restore order to the joint session.
Yeah, he's got a cane. Yeah, he needs it. From Houston.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of property.
Have you said thank you once?
To restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Respect, 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 respect. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck it, YOLO. Respect. Smack him with the cane, Al Green. Woo! Defend yourself. You got a right to. Bro, I thought you were a centrist. Yeah, but I like the drama.
In the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Classic. This is a classic Trump moment right here. Okay? The whole, like, why don't we work together? You guys just don't want to work with me in destroying the administrative apparatus. Also, the saddest part about it is that the Democrats do want to work with him. They always say, oh, if they came to us, we would work on a bipartisan compromise.
America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Yeah! Woo! Fucking sick! No regulations! That's right! OSHA! I wanna die at the construction site, sir! I want to eat straight human fecal matter from my natural water supply.
That other countries were not paying.
Also, freeze all foreign aid except Israel.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
Yeah, except in this speech, he's going to reveal that he has a task force specifically dedicated to hurting Israel's feelings, by the way. So, no, he has not brought free speech back.
2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and, indeed, the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer.
No more woke! I guess they're playing bingo.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
I'm clapping IRL. Meritocracy, baby. Common sense. Just basic.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Based! Oh, my God.
Three years ago,
Dems
Peyton
are so
McNabb
anti-American, they won't even
was
clap
an
for common
all-star
sense.
high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury.
Wait, what the? Why are you dunking on this random girl that's kind of fucked up?
And ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never
That's
seen anything
crazy,
like
bro.
it.
Chill.
Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
She's clapping. I'm not going to say anything. I just got unbanned. I'm not going to make any statements. I just got unbanned, okay? I'm not saying nothing.
And if you really want
I
to
feel
see
bad for
numbers,
her.
we suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
Bro, what do you mean? When is it going to become affordable?
Especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
Oh, he's blaming Biden.
The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job.
What?
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%.
I don't think they believe either. Even Asmongold's audience doesn't believe it.
To a halt and closed more than
Eggs are still
100
expensive.
power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, GOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
Yeah, it's so sick. Thank God. Yeah, clap for this hyena. Clap for the billionaire.
Which is headed by Elon Musk.
Boo.
Who's in the gallery tonight.
I'm sorry, I'm a centrist. I love Tesla. I love Elon. He's so genius.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's doing
We
us a
appreciate
favor
it.
by
Everybody
gutting the
here,
administrative
even this side
state.
appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
Yeah, no,
$32
definitely.
million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male
Moldovan Mama Liga, stand behind me.
circumcision in, believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. To finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229, one person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360
By the
years
way,
of age.
some of this stuff has been corrected, like fact-checked and stuff, and people have described why they think that this is wrong and that they're operating on faulty data, but it literally doesn't matter. It just does
We're
not
gonna find
matter.
out where that money's going.
I think
And it's not going to be pretty.
I think
By
it's just
slashing all of
basically
the fraud, waste, and
the
theft
goal
we can
now
find,
is basically just
we
keep
will defeat
repeating it over and
inflation,
over
bring
again
down
because lying is
mortgage
so
rates, lower
OP.
car payments,
And they've realized that like the
grocery
dumbasses
prices,
in the
protect our
cult
seniors,
will
and put more
absolutely
money
eat it up.
in the-
We officially do not have any interest in the truth at all. Ain't nobody is going to recognize that these people are just straight up lying. And it sucks because I always talk about when the Democrats lie. Always. But you will never, I will never expect a single Republican, a commentator, independent, centrist, okay, to ever turn around and be like, he's lying. Like, this is just straightforwardly not
24
true.
years. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old.
Oh, no. Oh,
It
no.
lists 0.47 million people
Oh,
from
no.
ages. And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made.
Where are
Never
these
seen.
plants
That's
opening
a
up?
combination of the election win
Where are
and
the plants
tariffs.
opening up? If
It's
there's
a
any new
beautiful
plants that have
work,
opened up,
isn't it?
it's directly a consequence of the
That
Brandon
along with our
administration's
other policies
policies.
will
You've only been in office for like, what, 30 fucking days? Get out of here.
If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge
Okay,
us
I
tremendously
hate Trump, but I
higher
love when he
tariffs
says, have you
than we
heard of them?
charge them.
About some
It's
of the
very
most like
unfair. India
like
charges
everyone's
us
heard of
auto
it things.
tariffs higher than
Like, yes, we've heard about
100%.
China and
China's
Mexico
average
and Canada.
tariff on our products is twice
you.
what we charge them. And South
Have
Korea's
you
average
heard of
tariff
them?
is 4 times higher.
That's
Think
right.
of that,
I love the
4
rhetorical
times
question
higher.
joke. I know that's
And
the
we give
joke.
so
I
much
love when he
help
makes that
militarily
joke.
and in so many other ways to
I love
South
it.
Korea, but that's what happens.
It's such a
This
such
is
a
happening
childish
by
thing. It's
friend
such a
and foe.
grandpa joke to
The
make.
system. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Pop-Tart
They
during
are, in
Ramadan
effect,
is Astaghfirullah.
receiving
First of all, the sun
subsidies
set
of
already.
hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to
Secondly,
Canada
I'm not fasting. Third,
and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of
There's
dollars
a protein
in the
Pop-Tart.
United States. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's
They're
beloved
saying
mother,
Sag.
Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
why is the dad not there? You know why. Because the dad, I think it was the dad that said, please don't make my daughter's death political and use it as a cudgel against, like, migrants, right?
Last year,
Like, he
I
said,
told
don't
Laken's
exploit her
grieving
tragedy.
parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our
This
beautiful
political
Laken-
instrumentalization of something like this is simply disgusting. Yeah, it's super commonplace now. Trump definitely accelerated it. It used to happen. Back in the day, there was like some repercussions for it. There was some backlash to it, but I mean, one of the more famous instances is the Willie Horton incident. Like, Republicans have always done this, though. They always use, like,
Since taking
humans
office,
as
my
props.
Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are two illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature.
By the way, Eliza Slotkin, Democrats' choice for responding to the State of the Union here, voted for the Laken-Riley Act.
Refuge.
If you want to understand where the Democrats are going with their future vision.
34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order? Thank you very much. All three savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's
One of the judges doing
murders were members
doing
of the
land acknowledgments,
Venezuelan
but for
prison gang,
migrant
the toughest
crime
gang, they say,
victims.
in the world, known as Tren de Aragua.
The difference is
2 weeks
the
ago,
Democrats don't do
officially
anything
designated
after
this
land
gang,
acknowledgments.
along with MS-13
Republicans use that as an
and the
opportunity to
bloodthirsty Mexican
deport
drug
every
cartels as
undocumented migrant.
foreign terrorists because of our tariff policies being imposed on them. Think of this. Handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever.
That's literally not true. They
But
always
we need Mexico and
extradite.
Canada
They always
to
send
do much more than they've done, and they have
cartel
to stop
bosses. What
the
are you- what?
fentanyl. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi. Good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash.
Cash always looks like he's up to some cryptocurrency scheming. Like he dresses like a cryptocurrency rug puller.
We're also once again giving our
It's
police
crazy.
officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice. One year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law. I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Oh, God. Jordan just said, be a YouTuber, bro. Bro, get into TikTok, bro. Get into TikTok, Brody. Don't do this.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
By the way, I have the same shirt his dad has.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do...
It's crazy he's using a little kid with brain cancer as a kid who wants to be a cop. Meanwhile, he cut funding the cancer research.
Officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Bro's like, you're the last one. No one else is getting brain cancer treatment. We've cut the funding.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger.
From the vaccine.
Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%.
Good thing we're deregulating.
Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again.
Bro cut cancer research, and he cut the regulatory agency budgets so that more children can get cancer, and we can't find a cure for them. Hey, yo! He's actively pointing to him. He's like, every child is going to be like DJ. But unlike DJ, they will not get a cure because we cut it.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually. All without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Classic.
Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology. I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth. And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Unless God made you trans. Unless God made you trans, then bye-bye.
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference. And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
They're so cooked, bro. The American military is so cooked. They have to parade like individuals, basically, to be like, see, we got one.
Jason, that's a very big deal.
We got a new recruit.
That's a hard one to get into, but
also, cop phrenology is real. Cop phrenology is a real science.
Accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Someone in the chat said the only public service celebrated is violence, and that was a banger, chatter. Respect. You're right. Every other aspect of public service is gutted, and the only thing that they stand and salute is like military or cops. They're like, yeah, we love the cops, we love the military. No other. Every other public servant is like watching this being like, am I going to lose my fucking job?
Jason, as Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
No way. No f***ing way.
Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it.
Who else?
And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too.
Yeah, when Canada starts launching bathtub rockets at us. When Bloc Québécois and the liberation movement starts launching bathtub rockets directly at Albany.
To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Wait, what? He's going to rename the Panama Canal? Wait, what?
Just today, a large American company announced they are buying
reclaiming.
ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others. But
Not
others
for
could
people
use
in
it.
Panama.
But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1. But that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America.
Oh, they're doing. Are they going to do a psyop?
National security and even international security.
Wait,
And we're
maybe
working with everybody.
Maybe they are going to do
try and get it.
manufactured
But we need
consent.
it really for international world security.
Talk about how like the
And I
indigenous
think we're gonna
population of
get it
Greenland actually wants
one way or the other, we're gonna
decolonialization by
get it.
joining America or some shit.
We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together.
Color
we will
revolution
take
in Greenland.
to heights like you have
How is he
going to
do it though? He cut U.S. aid.
It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice. And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call.
Someone said
Every
rare
one of them
Pakistan
called,
W and Asmongold chat.
Everybody was on the line, and
W
they
Pakistan.
did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East,
Dems
we're
are walking
bringing
out.
back
Started with Bernie,
our
then Van
hostages
Hollen,
from
now a lot
Gaza.
more.
In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the
Steve Gotkoff.
Abraham Accords.
Woodcock, my goat.
And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood,
a lot
actually.
of things.
I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
What the f?
2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans, but I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin.
That's crazy.
But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine,
she looks great
that we
for
would
95,
bring
by
her
the way.
boy
God damn.
safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
God damn. Bro, get her a job in Congress. What do you mean? She looks sprier than half of Congress, dude, at 95. Gam. Social Security fraudster in 5 years.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally.
Uh-oh.
That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs.
He's so weird, dude.
Two others,
He cannot.
very fine people,
He
were
cannot
also
talk about this
seriously
shit normal.
but thankfully, with
Corey
the
was
help
hit
of two
really
great
hard, like-
country doctors.
There's something
Thought
wrong
they
with
were
him.
gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their two beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Butler, Pennsylvania is so flat, like Ukraine. The only thing that can stop a bullet is a person's body. The beautiful domes of Butler will shine again when I call for a ceasefire in Butler, Pennsylvania, just like Ukraine. The weird guy.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his three beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's
Is
that
the girl in
built
the
our
middle libbed
country,
up?
and it's
Nah.
love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than
I don't think
ever
so.
before.
I don't think
I believe that my life
you
was
can't tell
saved that
any
day in
longer.
Butler
The only thing you
for a
can tell
very
is
good
when
reason.
Trump supporters have
I
a
was
specific
saved
type of
by
makeup.
God to make Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors
I think he's
crossed
wrapping
a
it up.
vast ocean,
Surprisingly, no mention of
strode
Israel.
into
Like,
the
he barely
unknown
mentioned
wilderness,
Israel.
and they lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel.
We are the worst
We stand
country,
on the
bro. We are
shoulders
such
of
a
these
bad
pioneers
country.
who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we're going to...
This stuff is so boring because he tries to sound like a old school politician, like a JFK, and it's always like, come on, dude. To infinity and far beyond. It's like, okay, dude, we know. We know how you are, okay? We know how you be. We know how you operate. That was so ass, dude. I'm not gonna lie. This was a...
We are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit.
This is so...
And we are
it was
going
so
to
boring.
renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
God, I hate Lauren Boebert so much.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future, because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be
Man,
like
shut the
that has ever been seen before.
Bitch.
Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America.
I told you he was wrapping it up, dude. I know his speech patterns.
Trump
Like
concluding what we believe is the longest speech of this type made to Congress.
apolitical Azan would say, "Good speech. He became president tonight." Well, I'll let Lester Holt do the talk in that regard.
So some moments I think many would agree probably weren't helpful, including those protests we saw early by some Democratic members.
Yeah.
And,
That's the
one
unhelpful
being
part.
escorted
The
out,
Democrats protesting
at the bequest of the speaker.
And the president talking about his agenda, talked about the
Bro, we're
tariffs that, of
cooked.
course, have just gone into
It's
effect
done.
this week.
Wrap it
And
up.
It's certainly doubled down on that strategy and indicated there would be more to come. Talked about foreign policy, and it appeared that he is ready to move forward with Ukraine, but talked a lot about Ukraine and Russia and getting a peace deal, something that is very much at top of mind. And then a lot of the cultural issues, a lot of time spent on some of the more controversial federal programs that he says his Department of Government Efficiency is cutting. So a wide-ranging and, as mentioned, the longest speech ever in the State of the Union or a joint address. So he now holds the top spot there. Just go to Kristen Welker for your thoughts.
Savannah, I was struck by the fact that after that rocky start, when Congressman Al Green was removed for jeering at him, this really became a speech about cultural issues, a culture war speech, if you will. And he spent about 20 minutes on it. It took him 20 minutes to talk about the top issue for voters, which is, by the way, the economy. He also talked about immigration, the environment, government censorship, all of those things. A couple of headlines. You talked about tariffs. That's obviously a huge issue because there's a lot of concern among some Republicans that the tariffs that he's imposed against Mexico and Canada and China could drive up prices. He acknowledged, quote, there will be a little disturbance and it will require a little adjustment. That is significant. That's the furthest that he's ever leaned into that. On foreign policy, he announced that the top terrorist responsible for the Abbey Gate bombing is being flown to the U.S., is going to face justice. And notably on Ukraine, I thought that was one of the biggest headlines of the night after that explosive Oval Office meeting. The president seeming to indicate.
Bro, let me tell you something, okay? This Trump speech was basically just a rally. And just like every other Trump rally, it was so perfectly chock full of idiotic nonsense that doesn't actually help anybody and simply harms some of the more vulnerable populations that exist within the boundaries of the United States of America. And it played a role of distraction. I do want to hear Elisa Slotkin's retort here. This is what the Democratic response is.
No oversight, no protections
Just
against
for a brief
cyber
moment.
attack, no guardrails on what they do with your private data. We need a more efficient government. You want to cut waste? I'll help you do it. But change doesn't need to be chaotic or make us less
I'm Brian,
safe.
kill me.
The mindless firing of people who work to protect our nuclear weapons, keep our planes from crashing, and conduct the research that finds the cure for
I'm a
cancer,
Democrat.
only to rehire them 2 days later.
I'm a Democrat, and I love cutting government waste. Please, I love firing. I love firing federal workers. Just give me the job. I'm Elisa Slotkin.
As someone who spent my whole career protecting our homeland, every country deserves to know who and what is coming across its border. Period. Democrats and Republicans should all be for that.
Oh, my God.
But securing the border without actually fixing our broken immigration system is dealing with the symptom and not the disease. America is a nation of immigrants. We need a functional system keyed to the needs of our economy that allows vetted people to come and work here legally. So I look forward to the president's plan on that. Because here's the thing. Today's world is deeply interconnected. Migration, cyber threats, AI, environmental destruction, terrorism. One nation cannot face these issues alone. We need friends in all corners, and our safety depends on it. President Trump loves to say peace through strength. That's actually a line he stole from Ronald Reagan. But let me tell you, after the spectacle that just took place in the Oval Office last week, Reagan must be rolling in his grave.
I hope he is.
We all want an end to the war
He's the
in Ukraine.
devil. Why? Why would a former CIA agent hype up Ronald Reagan? Fuck Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan can suck my dick.
Moral clarity.
You.
And that scene in the Oval Office wasn't just a bad episode of reality TV.
Oh no, Ronald Reagan is rolling his grave. I piss on his grave. What the
world.
f wrong with this person?
He believes in cozying up to dictators like Vladimir Putin and kicking our friends like the Canadians in the teeth. He sees American leadership as merely a series of real estate transactions. As a Cold War kid, I'm thankful it was Reagan and not Trump in office in the 1980s. Trump would have lost us the Cold War. Donald Trump's actions suggest that in his heart, he doesn't believe we're an exceptional nation. He clearly doesn't think we should lead the world. Look, America is not perfect, but I stand with the majority of Americans who believe we are still exceptional, unparalleled. And I would rather have American leadership over Chinese or Russian leadership any day of the week. Because for generations, America has offered something better. Our security and our prosperity, yes, but our democracy, our very system of government.
If she doesn't bring up Medicaid cuts, I'm done. I can't say what I'm thinking because I will get banned again instantly, okay? I don't care about American hegemonic power. No, stop. No one cares about foreign policy. Please just talk about cost of living. Please talk about the egg prices. Talk about federal employees getting fired. Talk about the evisceration of the last bastion of middle-class jobs with good benefits. Please talk about SNAP. Talk about Medicaid. Anything.
Those rights and the fight for them make us.
She's like, we gotta do NATO.
We're a nation of strivers, risk takers, innovators, and we are never satisfied. That is America's superpower. And look, I've lived and worked in many countries. I've seen democracies flicker out. I've seen what life is like when a government is rigged. You can't open a business without paying off a corrupt official. You can't criticize the guys in charge without getting a knock at the door in the middle of the night. So as much as we need to make our government more responsive to our lives today, don't for one moment fool yourself that democracy isn't precious and worth saving. But how do we actually do that? I know a lot of you have been asking that question. First, don't tune out. It's easy to be exhausted, but America needs you now more than ever. If previous generations had not fought for this democracy, where would we be today? Second, hold your elected officials, including me, accountable. Watch how they're voting. Go to town halls and demand they take action. That's as American as apple pie. Third, organize. Pick just one issue you're passionate about and engage. And doom scrolling doesn't count. Join a group that cares about your issue and act. And if you can't find one, start one. Some of the most important movements in our history have come from the bottle up. In closing, we all know that our country is going through something right now. We're not sure what the next day is going to hold.
Organize so we can fucking yell at you when you demand we do stuff.
The first time we've experienced significant
organize like the Black Lives Matter movement so that we can
of history.
Humiliate you every step of the way and tell you you are not getting any of your demands.
And ultimately, we've chosen to keep changing this country for the better. But every single time, we've only gotten through those moments because of two things.
Organize so I, former CIA agent, can infiltrate your movement and put you in jail.
Principled leaders who are ready to
organize. Oops, don't organize in a radical socialist kind of way.
So thank you tonight for caring about your country. Just by watching, you qualify as engaged citizens. And I promise that I
organize like the student protesters in my state that went to jail.
To be the principled leaders that you deserve. Good night, everyone.
Bro, okay, here's the thing. This was a classic, well-spoken, boring ass, I want to do homework ass Democratic speech. Donald Trump is over there juggling on stage, okay? He's doing tricks. He's like pulling up flashcards. He's got pizzazz. He's like, we're going to kill every transgender Guatemalan migrant. And here is a victim of transgender Guatemalan migrant crime. He's dumbing down the rhetoric, one, because he's dumb, and two, because, I mean, he's a television guy. Meanwhile, Democrats are like, I want to cut government. I hate wasteful spending in the federal government. Do not concede on your opponent's framing. Do not do that. Do not ever do that. Why are you doing that? Why are you handing it to the Republicans? What's wrong with you?
Well, when it started out, so anybody watching at the beginning, there was that complete sort of that chaotic moment. And Al Green is stabbing his cane into the air, and then it appears to be over something with Medicaid. And
I'm willing to bet every single normal human actually likes what Al Green did, and the Democrats are going to make it seem like he was really fucked up for doing so. Yeah, Al Green demonstrated courage. Yes, he waved his cane around and was screaming about Medicaid. That's what every Democrat should be doing. Every Democrat should be standing up and being like, you want to cut Medicaid over my dead body? Why the is it an 800-year-old man from Houston that is leading the charge here and virtually alone? Yeah, this is a good take. Here's the thing. If you think Trump is a fascist like Hitler was, then you have to accept that this is a ridiculous thing to do. In response to Hitler's policies, some members of the German left party wore purple hats. Do you see how stupid that sounds? Here's the interview Al Green gave to C-SPAN after getting kicked out.
So what were you shouting to the president?
The president said he had a mandate. And I was making it clear to the president that he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. I have people who are very fearful. These are poor people, and they have only Medicaid in their lives when it comes to their health care. And I want him to know that his budget calls for deep cuts in Medicaid. He needs to save Medicaid, protect it. We need to raise the cap on Social Security. There's a possibility that it's going to be hurt, and we've got to protect Medicare. These are the safety net programs that people in my congressional district depend on. And this president seems to care less about them.
I love that.
And more about the number of people that he can remove from the various programs that have been so helpful to so many people.
Is yelling during speech the best way to get that across?
It is the best way to get it across to a person who uses his incivility against our civility. He is a person who has consistently been used incivility against civility.
So do you have no mandate? Is that what you said?
Well, look, I'm willing to suffer whatever punishment is available to me. I didn't say to anyone, don't punish me.
Dude, Democrats are so desperate. Dude, I'm telling you, the Democratic voter base, like liberals are so desperate for someone to just be like, F this shit. Okay, look at that. It has 40,000 likes in 2 hours. I'm telling you right now, they need elected representatives to actually do elected representative shit. And sometimes, yes, that involves being a little disruptive. The base is so desperate for any sort of motion in the direction of actually resisting against Donald Trump, actually speaking out about the cruel nature of his policies, his administration's idiotic actions.